Our Acclamation Room is used to unpack shipments of coral and fish that we receive in from around the world. The area allows us to slowly adjust incoming stock to the specific systems they will be transferred to. The use of red light limits stress on the incoming stock. A great deal of time and effort is spent inspecting, quarantining, dipping, and medicating all of the animals that enter our coral farm and aquatic life facility. It is our first priority to protect our broodstock and coral frags that we grow from the introduction of outside pathogens and pests. But it's critical that we do not pass along any of these potentially devastating organisms or sick fish to any of our customers. The blue raceways are used to quarantine new SPS corals so that they can be medicated and monitored to ensure they are parasite and disease free before we introduce them into our main coral systems. This area is run on its own independent filtration system and has its own protein skimmer, chiller, calcium reactor, and sumps filled with socks and live rock rubble. We use a variety of medications and topical agents to combat specific pests and diseases. All of the corals are quarantined and monitored and inspected for a minimum of 2 weeks before they are offered for sale. SPS corals from specific regions that are known to harbor monopora-eating nudibranch or acropora-eating flatworms are quarantined for a minimum of 4 weeks before being offered for sale in the Diver's Den section of the LiveAquaria website. We also have dedicated systems for the quarantine of soft corals, large polyp stony corals, and invertebrates. Most of these specimens prefer more nutrient-rich environment to flourish and are housed together. The soft coral quarantine system is illuminated by Ecotech Marine G3 and G4 Pro LED light fixtures. The filtration skid for this system is identical to the main coral systems and utilizes a fluidized sand bed for more biological filtration. Soft corals, polyps, mushrooms, and other corals in this system often produce a great deal of waste when they first arrive, so it's important that we're able to export this waste quickly and maintain stable water parameters and avoid any ammonia or nitrite spikes. All anemones are conditioned for a minimum of 3 weeks prior to being selected for photography and offered for sale through the Diver's Den. Carpet and Ritterite anemones are isolated and medicated for 5 consecutive days after arrival before being housed in a standalone anemone system. Clams are acclimated, visually inspected for pyramid snails and pests, then segregated in isolated quarantine aquariums for 4 weeks prior to being offered for sale. Soft corals and zooanthus polyps are acclimated, conditioned, and quarantined for a minimum of 2 weeks. Both zooanthus and soft corals are inspected for pests such as sundial snails, sea spiders, and other damaging crustaceans, and are also given numerous freshwater baths to eliminate zooanthus-eating nudibranch and their eggs, along with soft coral-eating flatworms.